If you're saying, what the hell's about 2012, this is what we're going to say. 2012 is an energetic opening, a portal, an opportunity, whatever word you like. But basically, it is an energetic spot in your fake time experience that says there's a big opening for shifts. Okay, there's an opportunity here for radical transformation if you grab a hold of it. It's like you're out in the waves, you're getting ready to surf, and here comes a big swell, and you're like, here's the one I want to ride. Okay, it wells up under you. You can either just float there and it keeps going, or you can get up on your board and try to balance and go through it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get up on the board and balance and try to go through it. A group of light worker type folks will probably use this swelling as an opportunity to kind of go Chicken Little. The sky is falling, everything's going to shit, it's all horrible. I'm missing out, I'm not on the bus, it was supposed to be rapture or some other idea that didn't happen. Because a lot of light workers are tired. Yes? If we did a show of hands, pretty much everybody's going to raise their hand and say, I'm tired. I'm tired of all the time I've spent confronting my shadow and looking at my fears and dealing with my triggers and dealing with my habits and all that stuff, and I'm still broke and I'm still sick and I'm still this and I'm still that. There's a lot of light workers out there that are still in that position where they feel like they work really hard and their physical life hasn't turned around yet. Okay? Those people might use this swell of energy of 2012 to feel like it's all hopeless and failed anyway, because they haven't gotten anywhere. Okay? This is why compare you to you is going to be your best friend forever. Okay? Because in comparing you to you that push of transformation, you can see that there is actually transformation going on, and there's always going to be more opportunities. But you'll start to handle it in different ways because we give you all these tools. That's how we've done it. So this 2012 dynamic that we brought closer, it was about a year and a half ago, something like that. We drew that 2012 dynamic earlier. It's because we wanted that upswelling of opportunity. And the nice thing is we started working with that upswell before everybody else that's going to freak out started freaking out. Okay, but now that upswell rising is going to have triggering effects on those people too. Because, as soon as it starts to get closer, all the newspapers are going to have nothing else to do but to drag out the stuff about the Mayan calendar and interpret it in a million different ways. So it's going to be fear, fear, fear. They're going to ride that fear like crazy. They are. And some people are going to have extraordinary reactions to that. So we want to start working more with that 2012 energy starting tonight, so that you guys not only don't have to play around with all that, but so that you can also be using that upswell of energy from the first minute it starts to move in society in general. One of the ways that we're going to work with that 2012 energy is just exactly what the Visionaries just gave you the whip crack about. Your thoughts, you got to draw a line in the sand with your thoughts, period. You absolutely got to. And if you're thinking thoughts over and over again, even if they're thoughts that maybe you think are good thoughts, look at them hard. Because sometimes what you have kind of masked over with, let's think good things about this, is some discomfort that you're not looking at toe to toe, like we talked about last week, okay? So habitual thoughts need to be examined, period. And lines in the sand have to be drawn with yourself. Because there comes a point when it comes down to you. And you guys are family, so you can lean on each other, and you guys are friends, so you can lean on each other, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But at some point, you are the creator of your experience, and you have to draw the line in the sand for yourself. And that line being drawn in the sand, and the consistency to which you attend to it, only you know, and only you can do. And that's 100% your responsibility as being a creator in a free will zone. And that's great, because it's, you don't have to have special equipment, you don't have to chant, you don't have to buy the right clothes, you don't have to climb a mountain, you don't have to make a pilgrimage, you don't have to do any of that stuff. There are no props. All you have to do is draw the line in the sand within yourself that says, no, I'm not going to rethink those thoughts. And if they come up and they rise in me, I'm not going to get mad at myself for having that happen either. I'm just going to say no and let it go. that commitment that you make within yourself is going to help you very, very strongly, because what we see the 2012 timeline looking like is that the opening that it creates gives you the opportunity to really know yourself in a new way. And really know yourself, I'm trying to say this in the right way. Know yourself in a way that doesn't have your past define you. If you honestly were creating each moment of your life and you really knew you were, there's a decision that has to be made. Am I going to create this moment from my past, or am I going to create it from the insight I receive about its potential? Understand? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you all create from the past at this point, because, you know, who you are, what clothes you have in the closet are the clothes you've already bought. The food you have in the cupboards are the food you already bought. The way you have your hair is the way the hair grew out of your head yesterday, right? So you are creating your current moment from the past. But what we see happening, and the shift that's available to you, is that you're starting to know that by drawing the line in the sand about your thoughts and opening to insight, you're actually able to create from this moment and then moving out from this creation, more than simply reconfiguring the past into another experience. And that starts to give you a lot more influence in the physical structures of your life, your body, and even instantaneous manifestation kind of stuff, which you've always been so keen about. That's what we see the 2012 opening to look like. That is an extraordinary amount of responsibility for how you manage your creations. Because if you haven't drawn the line in the sand and you start having more and more influence on how you create, guess what happens? All those thoughts from all those experiences you've had all your life long, where are you doing? That's what you're creating with. So this is why the first step is to draw the line in the sand, so that as you create going forward, you're creating from the now. So this moment actually creates the next moment, and this moment is actually authentically this moment where you're not lying to yourself, you're aware of your truths, and you're not dragging a whole bunch of suitcases of baggage from God knows what decade, right? Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So this is like an introduction to the energy we're going to be working with for the next year and a half. Because it's swelling under you and we can feel it. And as we work together, we may be able to speed it up in the sense that your experience of it, because obviously everything's happening simultaneously. So it's there. It's just we're not quite ready to swell to that point. Because if we told all of you right now, whatever you're thinking you're going to create, God knows what would happen in this room. Okay? But it probably wouldn't be pretty. We're pretty sure it wouldn't be pretty. So we're inviting you to start to have some discipline, so that if you actually did create what you were thinking, you would have something that you would actually want. Now, those people out in the world that are actually very creative movie making types, here's a perfect opportunity to make a movie. Because if you made a movie about a group of people who learned to be spiritually disciplined about their thoughts, and you could have how ridiculous it would be in the beginning for their thoughts to all of a sudden just be creating, and then see them get a control on it. Yeah. And then the really interesting part of the story would be, how are you going to actually create what you want to experience when you have never spent any time knowing what that is, because you've been too busy thinking about all the crap that used to happen to you. And when you think about what you want, it's all wrapped up in your fears and your anxieties and your insecurities, instead of actually being simply, this is what I want. Maybe we should write a book about that.
We are.
But there's a really interesting visual, you know, for how this works. If you could just imagine, oh God, I thought that thought again, and then the process of turning I thought that thought again to, what would I actually create if I knew my thoughts created instantaneously? And we suspect very strongly that the vast majority of the time, if not all the time, you would not be able to handle that. Even if we said, okay, we're going to hold back any creation that doesn't serve